Hey fam, Den Mother Amanda back again. Yeah, time to have another conversation. It's gonna be the transsexual, transgender, and gender dysphoria conversation. What are the differences? What are the similarities? Okay. Now going back into history, transgender was supposed to take over for the word and terminology to mean the same as transsexual, those who are medically transitioning from either male to female or female to male. That's what transsexual actually means. Switching from one gender to the other medically. And what is needed for that is gender dysphoria and being diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Okay. Gender dysphoria is an incongruence between one's biological sex and the way somebody believes and feels that they are really actually should have been or should be. Brings about a lot of depression, okay, and the wish that we could be the other, okay, and a lot of mental health therapy should happen, okay. I don't want to say gatekeeping, I want to say safekeeping because a medical transition is not right for everyone whether someone has the diagnosis of gender dysphoria or not. Okay, it may not be the right decision for the particular person, and the person may not have gender dysphoria. Okay, and transgender has now become this umbrella term to mean anything but whatever. It's gotten so pathetic that it can mean that you can be an attack helicopter, or a trans species. Okay, sorry, can't be a trans species. You can feel like you should have been. Okay, transgender should actually mean a gender incongruence or gender non-conforming. Okay, I don't want to say non-binary. I believe it's a real thing, but it is not trans. Because being trans means you go from one gender to the other, and there's only two, male or female. Non-binary is going to feeling like neither male nor female, or maybe it can even fluctuate from what I've come to learn from having discussions with people who are. Okay, and these people feel the way they feel, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with feeling like that and living your life like that. Okay, I know some friends that are non-binary, and hey, they're wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful, caring people. Still, it's not a transitional thing. Because it means going trans is short for transition, a complete transition from one to another, fully, not stopping somewhere in between, and not identifying as either one. Okay. That being said, yes, I am transsexual. There are things that I live my life more in a feminine female way. Even though there are things in my life that I live, it can be classified as still masculine, and that's okay too for anybody else who does that. All right, and it's a space where I get to live my life. Okay, I get to medically transition. I'm still a biological male. living my life as if I were female or a woman. And I don't even know I'm not. And I'm seen that way by a lot of people, probably by most who do not know me, and even those who do know me. Okay? Some people aren't going to accept the way transsexual people live, and that's okay. That's okay for them. That's all right. They're not living my life. I'm not living theirs, and they can have their opinions and feel the way they feel. There's nothing wrong with that. Transgender has gotten this, well, I can feel like whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it does matter. Because the transgender, there's a lot, not everybody, but there's a lot of people in the transgender community saying that you don't need gender dysphoria to transition. Well, then why are you medically transitioning? Because it's going to be a mistake. And you're going to find out, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to hurt, and there's going to be a lot of more depression that needed to be. It didn't have to be. And that's causing harm to self and others who a medical transition would be needed or would be needed for, and will do a lot of wonderful things for. Even though a medical transition does not alleviate all of the gender dysphoria, it relieves a lot of it. It has for me. I still have gender dysphoria. I still suffer from some kinds of depression from it. What I'm comfortable in knowing also, although what I am comfortable in knowing is that I will never be a biological female. It's just not going to happen. It just won't. Anyone who is medically transitioning doesn't mean your biology is going to change, because it doesn't. Science has not been able to accomplish that yet. Maybe it will someday. And for that to change, the DNA has to change. We have not figured out how to change the DNA. The molecules within your cells. We have not figured out how to change that from one sex to another. And that's the reality of it. Does it stink from times? Yeah, it does. For some of us, it stinks a whole lot more. Please get with somebody that can help you with that and help you adjust with that. Because even though from some time to time it affects me a little bit, it doesn't dominate all the time. Very little does it dominate my life. Because I can live as if I were a real female, even though I'm really not a real female. If I'm wearing female clothes, my hair's longer, the typical, I guess, females don't always have to have long hair. I'm wearing makeup, not female. All females wear makeup. I don't have fingernail polish on today. Although I like wearing fingernail polish and toenail polish, I don't wear it all the time. Sometimes I still wear some of my old male clothes. There's nothing wrong with that either. For trans men or trans women to wear the clothes that they used to live is associated the way they used to live all the time, or we used to live all the time. That's okay too. Because if you got a heterosexual relationship, girls wear their boyfriends' or husbands' clothes or their fiance's clothes all the time. So it's okay to do that from time to time if that's something you want to do. There is a big difference between transgender and transsexual. although I could possibly fit into being transgender. I'm transsexual because I'm living my life as the opposite sex. I think transgender has become this big term that is supposed to encompass everything and mean everything. It means nothing now. It's just, it's sad. It's like, okay, transgender now means I'm pretending to be another gender and I'm not. But I'm not going to live like it, but I am going to live like it. It's a lot of different things that can go on within those categories, yes. Transgender it doesn't mean transsexual anymore. It just doesn't mean what it was supposed to mean. It means something, I don't know. It's almost like an intergalactic alien species type thing now. And which, okay, you're gonna be transgender, be transgender. It's also, I guess, a gender incongruent. Doesn't mean you can have gender dysphoria. I guess you could have. And what it seems like, okay, I identify as a male today. Okay, I identify like female today, or I identify as a intergalactic space rabbit. Who knows? I don't. Who knows anymore? I don't think anybody knows. It's being twisted and tweaked. What does it mean? For real? In all appearances, it means nothing anymore because it's got so many meanings to it. I don't know. All I know is I have gender dysphoria. It's a diagnosis I have. It's a mental. It's a mental thing. It's a mental health thing. I go to therapy for it. I get medical treatments. I'm on cross-sex hormones. I take estrogen to tell my body to do something different than what it was born to do. I've had a couple transsexual surgeries. So I fit more into the way my mind and body align with each other. My mannerisms are, for the most part, drastically different than what they used to be. Some of them are similar, and there's nothing wrong when we bring similarities over from one to the other, and that's okay too. We're not all the same. There are differences amongst us who are actually transsexual. We're not all the same. And what's really getting me today is that okay, there have been transsexual female to males, always has been. Okay, what has happened is a more than 4,000% increase within the last 5 to 10 years of trans female to male. There's been over a 1,000% increase from trans male to female. This historically is, in either case, has been much drastically less than 1% of the entire population. Okay? especially when you want to use being transgender is this umbrella term for absolutely everything. And people wonder why other people are getting confused, upset, pissed, and angry, and why we're losing support. I don't wonder anymore. I really don't. I look at the way the transgender community is acting. Okay, we must say, oh, there's a good enough amount of them, and they're making enough noise to make it a problem for the rest of us who are transsexual or transgender and the rest of the community. And you really wonder why you're getting a hard time and people don't like you. That's exactly why people do not like you. Because you're lying to people. You're not telling them the truth. You're filling them with crap. That anybody can be anything for any reason. I stubbed my toe, now I'm trans. Yeah, whatever. Because that's exactly what it sounds like. You're a big old baby, and you need to grow up. You need to get rid of the pacifier and the diaper, because you're old enough to live without it. And act like you have some semblance of common sense. Like you have more of a brain that's thicker than the size of a fingernail. Stop acting like a rectal tard. Grow a brain. See a doctor or a biologist. Maybe they can help you. And a therapist. Maybe they can help you. A real therapist. Not somebody who's, oh yeah, you are this, and that. Whatever you say you are, you are. You're full of shit. And if the therapist is agreeing with you, this, that, and it doesn't make any sense, they're full of shit too. They're not helping you. They're hurting you. Need to get to the root. Cause and effect. Why are you going through what you're going through? I am so glad I had a therapist that didn't know what gender dysphoria was. Because I could be honest with this person. And let them know exactly what gender dysphoria is, which is a mental incongruence with the way I was born. Because I want to medically transition, I am not be able to medically transition my biology from one biological sex to another. All any of us can do is change the appearance of sex. Appearance only. I'm sorry if you believe you're changing your biology, but it's not a fact. It's not true. It's really not true. And when we can get each one and every one of us for ourselves can get past this, we can have a better life and live it the way we want and actually really fit in with the world. Because there's no need to convince somebody else that we are or we are not. Because when we get to that point, all that's going to matter is the way we try to live our lives and the person we try to be. To the core of our being. Being transsexual is just a part. It's not the only thing. We as people have so many different facets to ourselves. Each and every one of us. And not every day is the same. And it shouldn't be the same. They can feel the same. They can look the same. Not always the same. We get to grow. We get to see what life is about and live amongst the world today. When we can be honest with ourselves about who we are. We don't have to tell everybody. We don't have to tell everybody. The intimate relationships, and I'm talking the intimate relationships as a significant others are really the only ones that we need to know. Of course, we're going to have friends and family that know, and that's okay. They should know. They need to know. I understand some family members are going to just say, hey, just no, no, you're not welcome anymore, and that sucks. And we need to talk with others who may have gone through that, or maybe somebody that can help guide you through getting better and being okay. Because not everybody is going to agree with the way we're living, family member or non-family member. And there's going to be some family members that don't agree with it, but are okay with still having us in their lives because they love us and treat us like they love us and mean it. And that's okay too. Like I said, not everybody has to accept the way I'm living. And that's okay. They can do that. They can do that. But we can't be going around telling people we're actually one thing when we're really not one thing. The one thing. The one thing that we're transitioning to. I'm not a real biological woman. My appearance shows that I might be. I'm not. Well, my biology says that I'm still male. I was born that way. I still am that way. And when I die, it's going to be that way. I just hope I still have a place in God's home. This is something children should not do. There are so many detransitioners out there that started as a child. Each and every one of them, even if they haven't detransitioned, are having severe medical problems that would not happen if they had been made to wait as an adult. And I don't mean forcefully wait. I mean guide them so they have a better life, so they can live their lives as a child until they reach adulthood and can make their own decisions for themselves. Because when it comes down to it, none of us can really decide whether we're transsexual and want to need a medical transition unless we go through puberty first. Because it's the difficulties that we have surrounding our puberty. That's a huge catalyst for being trans or not trans. Most of the time it works its way out when puberty happens, as we progress through puberty. Most of my life I lived as a male, even though I wanted to transition. And I'm okay with that. Because there are things in my life that if I hadn't lived that way would not have happened. That I would not have now. I'm grateful that I have those things in my life. Because I lived most of my life as a male. Because I am a male. Now I'm living it as a female. A transsexual female. There's a difference. Transgender can also include cross-dressers, people who are autogynephilic, AGP. I'm not either one of those. I mean, I'm queer. I'm not queer. Now, part of me is maybe delusional, but I'm working on myself, mentally, emotionally, and physically, medically, and spiritually, and emotionally. I'm working on me, and I talk to a lot of different people. I have a support network, medical and non-medical. We all need that. Medical and non-medical help, trans or not trans. Because as life goes on, we all have health problems. Whether we transition or not, issues come up that we need help with. Whether it be mental or physical health reasons. Autogynephilia is where it's a male thing where males feel sexually aroused as seeing themselves as a woman. That's not me. I like to see myself as a woman, but I'm not aroused by it. Transgender. Well, my gender is changing through my transsexual experience. My appearance and mannerisms. Mostly feminine now, but there's still some masculine traits that I still have. And they're hard. It's probably always going to be like that. And that's okay too. That's okay for all of us to have, whether we're transitioning from male to female or female to male. So it's okay to have some of those characteristics from the gender that we transition away from. So it's okay to carry over some of those traits and characteristics. Doesn't mean we're going to always act on them. But it's okay to have them. Because it's like being trans or not trans. We all have a softer side and a harder side. And I don't mean a harder side in a bad way. In a more masculine way. A softer way, more feminine way. We're not set into one direct way of acting or being. Medically transitioning or not. A lot of people will tell you I had some character traits that were feminine before I transitioned to carry over. Some that are masculine that carried over. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. Because I'm not monotone. That's when people start acting monotone, like it's one way or no way, then something may not be right. I don't have to look. I'm multifaceted. I have a personality that isn't always the same from minute to moment, day to day. There's an overarching personality that I have that I fit into, that all of me fits into. But it varies from time to time. And it's all due to our experiences. The life we've lived up to the time to now. It's based on our life and our lived experiences. Okay. We act on those in different parts of our lives. When things come up, we act a certain way. When something else comes up, we act another way. Some things were set in, some things were not. Some things we change, some things we don't change. But being transsexual is the medical part of being trans. That's what I am, as transsexual. So I'm going through a medical process to transition myself from one to the other. Doesn't mean I biologically am. No, I'm not biologically female. Never will be. At least I don't think I will be, because I don't think I'm going to live long enough for science to figure out how to do that yet. I don't even know if they're working on trying to do that. They very well might be. What I'm saying is live your life the best you can. In the simplest terms that you can, that fits you and your life. People don't always understand the way I'm living, and that's okay too. They do ask, hey, what's up with it? Help me understand it a little bit. And I try to help them understand as much as I can help them understand. Okay? And people who aren't going to fully understand, but I can help them to come to a better understanding of what it's like to be transsexual and for me to live the way I'm living. Well, we start to medically transition children before they go through puberty. We got it backwards. We got it wrong. We really have it wrong. And I understand there's gender confused kids out there. There are. And there are going to be kids out there that say they're trans and they're really trans. And actually be it, but they're very, very, very extremely few. Say maybe 2 or 3 out of 100 or more. It's the extreme rarity that continues through puberty. They may be part of the L, the G, or the B, or they may end up being straight. But it's extremely rare when children are allowed to go through puberty. Extremely rare. How do I know I'm one of those rarities? I went to a school that graduated 102 people. I'm the only one that's transsexual. Just one out of 102. That's how rare it is. And nobody knew. Nobody. Nobody had a clue. I didn't want people to know. And I still had friends. Of course, yeah, we all have people that don't like us. Yeah, that's sorry, that's normal. We have people that like us, we have people that don't like us. That's normal. Sorry. Hate to burst your bubble. You gotta be able to learn how to take the good and the bad and the good. Like the good times, the bad times. They all come and they all go. It's those life experiences that help us live our lives and become who we are. Helps determine our personality. A lot of my personality came over. I'm still a caring, compassionate type of person. bitch. And I can be an asshole. That came over too. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't magically say bye-bye. But that's just all part of me. We're all different. We all have different personalities, different way we live our lives. Anyway, I hope this has helped. So y'all have a great rest of the day, no matter what part of the day you're in. Remember, you're important, you have worth, and you have value. If no one told you that they love you today, I love you. And until the next time, I hope you have a great life. Bye for now.